Hey guys, welcome back. This is Grimace63 back at it again with another Star Trek Online video. I'm really hoping I can keep this video short and simple. I just had something quick I wanted to cover. This is a question that I've seen a lot pop up on the different Facebook pages that I belong to, and it's I think a lot of people are still pretty concerned about it and don't understand exactly how it works. So I want to go ahead and talk about the ships. Mainly the T5 versus T5U versus the Tier 6 ships. Okay? Now, I've got this here. This is the multi-vector advanced escort. Basically, I just purchased this to get the multi-vector console that I ended up putting in this ship. But it's the only T5 Zen ship that I have, so I'm actually going to go through, we're going to upgrade it, and we're going to see all the differences between what you get between the T5 and the T5U and the Tier 6. Alright, so we're going to start off with this one. Now, just taking a look at it, it's got 2 engineering consoles, 3 science consoles, 4 tactical consoles, 2 device spots, okay? So that's going to be pretty much standard for escorts in the Tier 5 category, but definitely check them out. You know, the important part for this ship is the tactical consoles. It's a tactical ship, so it needs more tactical consoles. So if we go up here, this is the Tier 5 version. If we go up here to this one, this is the Tier 6 version. All right, now we can see so far the only difference between the Tier 5 and the Tier 6 is that the Tier 6 gives you an extra engineering console. All right, so you have 2 on this one, and you've got 3 on this one. Now, that's a lot of people might look at that and say that that's not that big of a deal, but it's a huge deal. Like, I mean, having that extra console gives me an extra EPS conduit that will greatly increase my DPS. So that's definitely one difference between the 2 ships. All right, if we go down here and just look at the base stats on it, the hull on this one's 31,000. All right, has a max shield capacity of 4,702. All right, if we go up here to this one has a hull of 40,000. All right, actually, I think this one only has, yeah, here, if we take this off, it won't show shield capacity. So disregard shield capacity. Take all this crap off. All right, so yeah, disregard shield capacity. 31,000 hull versus almost a 41,000 hull. So right there, I mean, that's another huge difference. So far, going from the Tier 5 to the Tier 6, we updated 10,000 in hull hit points, and we updated an extra engineering console. Now, this is almost more important than anything else, all right? If we go over here, this is the Tier 6 ship. If we go over here to the mastery, you can see it has the different masteries. Plus 5% to accuracy, 5% to defense. Then this one is increases to energy and kinetic damage, 2.5 critical chance, and then this is going to be your mastery. For this ship, it's the numerical superiority. Now, this right here, this 10% kinetic damage and plus 10 all energy damage, essentially almost acts as the 5th tactical slot on this ship. All right, because like when I switched over and I went from the Fatebringer to the Bad Juju, which was this one has 5 tactical slots, I was expecting a huge increase in DPS. I barely noticed any increase in DPS. And when I finally figured it out, it was because this ship does not offer any increases to damage other than the 2.5 crit chance, but I have the 2.5 crit chance on the Fatebringer. So that's why I did not notice much of an increase between getting that whole extra tactical slot between the Tier 6 Hastia and the heavy escort carrier. All right, so something just to keep in mind, it's not all about the consoles. There are different stats on the ships that can help increase the DPS, and that's what happened on this one. Okay, so disregard that for now. Let's go back to between these two. So right down here, if we go over here to this one, this is the Tier 5 version, there is no mastery spots. Okay, so you're missing out on 5% accuracy, 5% DPS, these 10% damages, the 2.5 crit chance, and then the mastery for the ship. All right, so if we go down here into the Mytha class, we go here to upgrade. Let's do a standard upgrade. All right, this is going to take it from a T5 to a T5U. All right, as you can see here, the price is 1 starship upgrade requisition. I have 0 starship upgrade requisitions. That's just weird. I should have one. Hold on. Where'd it go? Well, that's weird, because that was right there. Did it go through and I just didn't see it? Let's take a look. Yes, it did go through. I just didn't see it go through. So now this ship has access to mastery slots. It only has 4. It doesn't have the big mastery there at the end, okay? But it does give me 5 to accuracy, 5 to defense, plus 10 kinetic weapon damage, and plus 10 all energy damage, and 2.5% crit chance. So now this ship is now a lot closer to this ship, all right? Because it has everything this ship has except for that tier 5 mastery, which is the numerical superiority, which is actually pretty dope. I mean, I do like it. It's an increase in damage. So, and it's also missing that extra engineering console. Other than that, actually it's not, because now, you can see here, it now has 3 engineering consoles, which I was not anticipating. Alright, so now this ship is very close to its tier 6 counterpart. Now let's take a look at the hull. We got about 41,000 on this one, and we got about the same on this one. So taking it up from the T5 to the T5U essentially turns it into a tier 6 ship that does not have the tier 5 mastery. Alright, other than that, they're pretty similar. Now, the problem I have, and the reason I like the tier 6 better than the tier 5, or one, it's a tier 6, you know, so just the name in and of itself does carry a little bit of weight, at least for me anyway. But it, oh, where was I going with that? It's the mastery. I guess that's where I was going with that, I don't remember. So yeah, it adds the mastery to it. So you're getting, I think that's supposed to say to self, plus 10 to 50% all damage based on the number of allies targeting your target. So in big groups, you're going to get more damage out of the Fatebringer than you're going to get out of the Mythoclast. So, as you can see, there's a big difference from the tier 5 to the tier 6. Very big difference. Not as much from the T5U to the tier 6, alright? Because everything else looks to be just about the same, except for that that additional mastery. So, again, guys, keep in mind that these ships, they're shells. Some of them offer some things a little bit better than other ships do. Like, I mean, if we compare this Fatebringer down here to this Thunderlord, I've got a full extra tactical console slot. I've got an extra device slot. I've also got the hangar bay, which is supposed to be more DPS. It's got a much bigger hull. This one's almost at 51,000, so I've got almost an extra 10,000 in hull. And for the mastery, I still get the 5% accuracy, 5% defense. This one is a buff for my pets. Still get the 2.5 crit chance. And then I get access to tactical analysis. Your weapons ignore 20 damage, resistance rating for 10 seconds. So on this one, the mastery is more for defense. On the Fatebringer, it is more for offense. So even at that, between these two escort ships, my DPS is right around the same. I'm still getting about the same crits. You know, I'm still getting them crit as often. So it's, the Fatebringer has, I would essentially, I know that's not what it is, but it's essentially like an extra DPS slot, an extra tactical slot due to this enhanced weapon systems. Alright, so now that's not going to be on every ship, but you are going to see something similar to that on a lot of the escort ships. So basically what we've been able to establish so far is the tier 5 to tier 6 is a huge jump. Alright, tier 5 to T5U is a big jump. T5U to tier 6, not necessarily as big of a jump. So, if you do decide, if you find yourself a tier 5 ship that you absolutely love, okay, by all means, keep in mind you can purchase the upgrade token, alright, to get it up closer to a tier 6 ship. Well, so, but that's not everything, alright? So the next step here is we're actually going to want to go ahead and I am going to equip this ship. Let's go ahead and ready that ship. Alright, and then we're going to go in here to my crew stations. and we're going to take a look at these crew stations. All right. So this one has 3 tactical stations. All right. We've got a commander tactical, we've got a lieutenant tactical, we've got an ensign tactical, we've got a lieutenant engineering, and a lieutenant commander science. Okay. So now this is the T5U. All right. I probably should have looked at this when we did the tier 5, but that's okay. So that's the T5U stats. Now let's go back in here and let's take a look at the tier 6 version of it. We're going to ready that ship. And then we're going to go back in here to crew stations. And we're going to see what the difference is. All right. Now, honestly, the difference is fairly substantial. All right. So I've got this. We've got the commander tactical station, which we had on the other ship. Okay. We have the ensign tactical. Well, this is actually an ensign universal, and I believe that's a tactical. I thought I had 2 universals. This is actually an ensign universal, so I can put anything in there, which is slightly better. It gives you more options than just having a tactical ensign slot, but yeah, I mean, and it's still got the lieutenant tactical station on there as well. All right. Now we'll notice a better increase here because now I have access to a lieutenant commander engineering slot, and we still have access to the lieutenant commander science. So as of now, the difference is you get a higher engineering for the lieutenant commander engineering slot instead of just the lieutenant engineering slot, and you also get access to the universal station. And this one, it doesn't make much of a difference because I want tactical in the universal station anyway, only because I haven't brought down any kind of like pilot abilities or intelligent officers or any of that other stuff right now. So as of now, that's not going to make that big of a difference. But this extra engineering slot is going to make a noticeable difference. You know, gives me access to a completely different. Right now, it's on reverse shield polarity. Don't worry about that. I haven't set this up, but yeah. So you are getting an increase in the BOF stations on the T6 versus the T5U. Again, it's a pretty small difference, but if you're into PvP at all, you know every little difference helps. In PvE, you're probably not going to notice that much of a difference to it, but it's still there. I mean, there is still a difference there. There is still additional DPS that you're going to get from the tier 6 ship. So if we look at it purely from an economical standpoint, all right, if we go down here into the ships and we look at the tier 6 ships, all right, right now they're on sale. They're what, 24 bucks. All right, normally they're $30. All right, so we go over here to the tier 5 ship and they're 20 bucks, usually $25. So you're talking about $25 for a tier 5 ship, $30 for a tier 6 ship. I mean, guys, to me, it's not even a question. I mean, to me, yeah, I'm going to spend the extra $5. I'm going to get the tier 6 ship. All right, something that's going to help me out later on down the road. All right, now we're almost done, guys. I appreciate you sticking in here with me. Hopefully I'm making sense on this video. But one of the other things is people have been talking about the fleet ships, okay? Well, there's a lot of fleet ships, and, well, I'm going to hold out. I'm not going to get this ship until I can get the fleet version of it, which is a great idea. I mean, it really is, you know? I mean, you're going to spend 30 bucks on a ship now, or, you know, spend more money on the same ship later. All right. Now, one thing I have learned when I came across doing some research is that you will pay more for a fleet ship that you do not own the non-fleet ship version. All right, and you will pay less to upgrade that ship to a fleet version if you already own the non-fleet version of it. So don't feel bad if you went out there and you purchased a tier 6 ship, or in my case, a couple tier 6 ships, and you're like, oh, well, I'm just going to have to repurchase them again when the fleet comes out. Yes, you are, but it's going to be at a greatly discounted price. I think it's 1 fleet token versus 5 fleet tokens. If you own it, you only have to pay 1. If you don't own it, you have to pay 5. Plus, it's a pretty substantial discount in fleet marks. So definitely keep it in mind. You did not make a bad investment. It'll actually probably benefit you later on down the road. Because not only do you get a good ship now, you're going to get a better ship later for a cheaper price. So yes, guys, if you have a T5 ship that you spent Zen on, that you paid money for, figure out a way, upgrade it to a T5U. Huge difference. If you have a T5U ship and you want to get a tier 6 ship, unless it's got a great console, or yeah, I mean, unless it's got a great console, it offers really good BOF stations, or something that where you can really be like, man, that ship's really going to help me. It's not going to make much of a difference going from a T5U to a Tier 6. Okay, but I guess that's it for now. As I said, I didn't want this video to drag on too long, but as normal, I'm sure it did. So if you guys have any questions, definitely put them in the comments. Give me a like, give me a subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.